it's Ina the Mood Reader. January is over, so let's do a wrap-up. So for January, I was able to read 11 books for the month, and I'm super happy with that achievement. It was honestly a jump. I read 2 books last December, and 10 is like 500% better than my last reading experience, and I'm super happy that we're on pace. We're just on track with our 2022 target, which is basically reading 2 books a week. We have a bit of an extra, and yeah, I'm so happy that I'm just doing the right pace, and I'm very comfortable with where I'm at. I'm building momentum, and yeah, it's such a joy. So yeah, from those 11 titles, I was actually able to read 3,278 pages. I just love tracking these numbers because it feels like an achievement. But just a quick disclaimer, this is not a competition anyway. I just like seeing my own personal trends, like seeing my own graphs on how I perform every month. And my favorite, like my sole competitor, is myself anyway. So whatever you are reading, whatever is your reading speed right now, if you're reading or not, that's okay. You're still a reader. And as you can hear, some noise in the background that might show up throughout the video. But yeah, nothing's gonna stop us today. So yeah, I also tried to track how many days it takes for me to finish a book. And for January, the average day is 5.82. My average rating in Goodreads was 3.64, which is way lower than how I usually rate books. And yeah, so here we go. One thing I also noticed this month is I was able to read a lot of Asian authored works. So great job for me. I even though I wanted to read more physical books, I still did more reading on audio, but that's okay because this month I read the fantasy, and when I read fantasy, I tend to go slower. So there. I've also noticed how my reading tastes are slowly switching to adult titles over young adult titles, which is fine. I don't know. I guess we're just getting older and our reading tastes are slowly changing, but contemporary romance is still the way to my heart. So most reads I did for this month is still a lot of contemporary romance. So there. Let's start with my reads. My first read is also my first 5-star of the year, and it's Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So this book, I started, actually, it's a carryover from the year before. I started, I think, December 28th, and I wasn't able to finish because I was out of town. I was celebrating with family. I was relaxing, but that's okay. This book, it revolves around the Riva siblings. They are sons and daughters of Mick Riva, one of the husbands of Evelyn Hugo, if you get the reference. This is also an historical fiction. I think this was set in the 80s, but it also has dual timelines. So sometimes it goes to the story of the parents, which I think was in the 50s or in the 60s. Yeah, but just like other Taylor Jenkins Reid books, this really captured my heart. There's something about her writing style, and if you can see, there are a lot of tabs that I was able to make. This book mainly revolved on Nina Riva, the eldest daughter, and the responsibilities she took from an absentee father and a mother who wasn't able to handle the stresses of it all. This book touched on so many themes and also highlighted the lives of each of the siblings and the responsibility that Nina had as the eldest daughter to at least try to look after the welfare of her siblings. So it's a historical book, and though there are romance aspects of it, it wasn't like the main showrunner. and it was a break for me from all the romances I've been reading. Again, this felt like what I felt with Daisy Jones and with Seven Husbands, where I feel like I'm privy to the life of certain celebrities, so it's like an instant look. And for those of you who are kind of marites like me, who wants to be like updated on chica and on gossip and the lives of, you know, interesting personalities, I think this one would appeal to you a lot. So again, 5 stars. The second book I read was All the Beautiful Strangers. I listened to it on audio. This was a YA thriller, and even though I had high hopes because of the cover, this one is actually a book I rated 2 stars. It was pitched as basically it's like a boarding school mystery wherein something happened to the family of these people, of the main character. Something happened to her mom and people think that it was her dad who did it, but at the same time there's also a secret society at the school, so she is like trying to solve a few mysteries and all of that. The main trigger why I wasn't comfortable with this book is that it didn't felt like it delivered what it was promising based on the synopsis of the book. The pacing was all wrong. With all these beautiful strangers, Charlie Calloway, our lead character, became a part of this secret society, so she has to do many bad things, including making out with her cousin, and that really made me feel uncomfortable. And it doesn't just end there. This cousin thingy lasted all throughout the book, which gave me an iffy feeling. If I wasn't listening on it on audio, I would have DNF the book, but I'm really not the type to DNF. Yeah, and the main bad part as well, when it, like, putting that issue aside, is that the book was unnecessarily long. I think it didn't need all those unnecessary details. Yeah, if it wasn't an audiobook, I would have quitted right away. Yeah, it was 448 pages, and I think honestly it was a little bit like 100 to 150 pages too long. So yeah, unfortunately I just gave it 2 stars because it wasn't really my cup of tea. So there. The next book I read was Happily Letter After by Vi Keeland and Penelope Ward. I also listened to it on Scribd. This one, just like what the title says, it involves a letter. So there's this young kid who wrote a letter to a magazine. It's kind of like a Dear Santa thing, and she was asking for things for her father, especially a special friend for her father, and many simple things like socks and that doesn't have holes and all of that. So the writer felt empathy toward the girl. She was trying to make her happy and all that, and she kind of wanted to know them in real life. So yeah, eventually she stumbled upon their home, and when she was trying to meet up with the girl, the dad saw her, and something weird happened to this main character, that she pretended to be a dog sitter, the dog sitter that the family was waiting for. It was just so weird. That's a part I actually didn't like about the book. I rated this, I think, 3 stars. Yeah, because it's cute. It's a cute single dad romance. I love the relationship between our main character and, again, the young girl in the story. It also comes with a lot of angst and drama. But in this book, there are a lot of coincidences that made the story unrealistic, and I felt like the author duo could have brought it to a different place. Where they did bring it didn't satisfy my reading taste. So overall, it was an okay read. Some parts are just cheesier than others, so I wasn't satisfied with that. The next book is If the Dress Fits by Carla de Guzman. It's another book that I listened to on audio because I saw a tweet by Miss Mina V. Esguerra that there's an audiobook for this book on Scribd, and I was like, Filipino audiobook narrator narrating Filipino characters with a book that has a cover this good, like, I'm in. So super happy that I listened to it. I really loved seeing plus-size main characters on books and seeing a plus-size Filipino character on the cover who is the author as well is like the representation that I've been craving for. So yeah, I'm super happy. How many times do I have to say super? But yeah, this is a Filipino contemporary romance, best friends to lovers, fake dating trope, and there's like a crazy rich crazy Asian family, and there's also a lot of characters that if you are a fan of romance class and a fan of the author, you would notice that they are very familiar. So that's another extra exciting thing. And yeah, I just love the chemistry. I love how hot and steamy it is, how body positive it is, and yeah, it gave me all I was wanting from a romance. So if you're looking for an audiobook to listen to with Filipino characters, it's definitely one that you should check out. So the next 3 reads are actually a trilogy by the author J.C. Lee. It's about the heirs of Hansol. It's a Harlequin, what's the yellow one? It's a Harlequin Desire, I think, romance. So it's about billionaires in the corporate world, and this time we have Korean American leads. So super happy at the covers. So the reason why I was really drawn into reading this book is these 3 books are the covers. It's very hot. I guess I love that I'm seeing Asian characters on Harlequin romances. I don't know if they have been doing this for a very long time, but it's one of the first times I've seen that, and I'm super happy about that. So yeah, we have first the temporary wife temptation, which I think is the best part out of all these 3 books. So we have these CEO and the HR director of the company. They have to do fake dating so that the guy won't have to marry the person who he is supposed to be in an arranged marriage with. There is also corporate espionage themes here, and there are adoption themes, and also what they call this, social class differences between the 2 of them. So yeah, it's hot but not too hot, so it's just the right amount of spice. It's actually lacking for someone who loves more spice in her romance books, me. So there, I gave that 4 stars. The next one is Secret Crush Seduction. This one involved the younger sister of the CEO and his best friend. So it's a brother's best friend trope, and for the girl, he is her childhood crush. So the best part about this book is their chemistry. We also have like this girl boss fashion designer. She is the heiress who has a bad reputation, so it's like bad girl turned good girl thing. And the guy who is a PR expert for their corporation would be helping her throughout. And then he always saw her as a little girl, but she's grown up now, and he's like a little confused with the feelings and all that. So there's a lot of sexual tension and a little bit of secret relationships, but there's also miscommunication as a plot point, which I hate in books. So yeah, I also didn't like some parts of the non-romance plot, so that's why I gave it 3 stars. I mean, it's a little forgettable if you think about it. So that's why I only gave it 3 stars. And the last book, which I also think was the worst book in the series, is Off Limits Attraction. This time it's their cousin, Colin, and the girl who was in an arranged marriage with the CEO on the first book. So that's Ji-hae Park. So her family is involved in the corporate espionage thingy that was investigated in the first book. So Colin wants to help his family find out, and he wants to do that by getting the trust of this heiress from that family. So there's kind of a deception between the characters here, but it also involves movie production and again the rich corporate life. And yeah, looking back, I can't remember much of the story, which I think says a lot about how much I didn't really got absorbed into this book. The 8th book we have is Crushing on You by Jen Trin. This is another random audiobook pick on script. So this one we have an Asian girl who is not into dating Asian guys, and she actually went to the wedding of her best friend where she meets this hot Asian guy who sparks fly between them. And the problem is that she doesn't like dating Asian guys, mainly because she doesn't believe in marriage, and she knows that when she dates an Asian guy, she'll be forced by her parents to marry that Asian guy because, Asian people love these arranged marriages things. So yeah, I also rated this one 3 stars because I didn't like some of the plot points, and I think again, I didn't like where the story went. And I didn't really got attached to the characters. So yeah, it was just a random pick, so I'm not like regretting that much. And after it was an audio, so it's like a free trial. It's like a free thing. No pressure for me to like the book anyway. So there. And then I also read for a live show for the Mood Readers Club, the first live show ever, Where Dreams Descend by Janela Angeles. I discussed this book with Kat, Erica, and May, and this is a work by a Filipino author. And even though I'm not really a fan of fantasies, I wanted to try because of how much I love the cover, and I wanted to support a Filipino author. Good thing though it is a fantasy, it's not high fantasy, and there's a good level of mystery that would keep you going. It's really easy to understand, and the writing style of the author is very beautiful. If you want to learn more about what we thought about this book, I'm inviting you to watch the live show. It's a little bit long. It's an hour and 45 minutes long, but yeah, it was a really great discussion. And yeah, I think if I were to say a few things about this, the main character alone is enough to read this book. The magic system is a bit of a mess. There are a lot of questions it will leave you, but the thing is, it's a duology. There's a second book out there, and I am hoping that these questions that I might have will be answered in the second book. But if you're a fan of the Phantom of the Opera and Moulin Rouge and you like magic, this might be a great pick for you. Okay, so next, my last audiobook for the month. It's 1 Week to Claim It All by Adriana Herrera. So it's my first Latinx read for the year, and this one is another Harley Quinn Desire book. It revolves around an estranged daughter of a CEO for like a Latinx network, and the father passed away. She inherited the company, and because of that, the official family is a little intimidated by her, but she has studied and worked in the same field, so she's fighting for it. And our significant other here is her rival, like one of the lead employees of the company who was also aiming for the CEO post someday. And the thing is, they had the past, so it's like a second chance romance. And I loved listening to this book because of all the cultural references and cultural things, and they're also their own representation problems that they want to clear out on media, particularly on film and on TV shows. But also I like the dynamic between the two main characters and the little push and pull they have, like the hesitancy of our heroine to trust the guy because of the things she thought happened, and then the realizations when she finds out the truth, and also the undeniable spark between the two of them. I also rated it 3 stars because it was an okay read, but it didn't like sweep me off my feet or something. So there. The last book for January is The Inheritance Games. This is a pick of the members of the Mood Readers Club. We discussed it on Zoom, and it was a fun experience to spend with all of them. This is a mystery book. Don't let the cover fool you, because it fooled me. It involves a girl named Avery and a group of 4 brothers, and Avery was suddenly given an inheritance worth $46 billion, and the family, the Hawthorne family, is wondering why the inheritance was given to Avery, and Avery even doesn't know it herself. So in this book, we have a lot of puzzles that we have to uncover for us to know the truth, and for them as well. And with that, this book thrown in also a little love triangle dynamic between 2 brothers and Avery, but I actually fell in love with the other 2 brothers who weren't involved in this love triangle. So there's much to enjoy with this one. It's a part of a trilogy. The 2nd book is already out, and the 3rd book is coming in soon. So yeah, super fast paced. I love the short chapters, and it actually got me back into my reading momentum. I wished I picked it up sooner, because this is the type of book that I usually enjoy. And yeah, it actually made me remember the type of young adult banter that I love reading. I think there's something about this author's writing style that fits my personal taste. I rated this book 5 stars, even though there are things that I didn't like so much, and there are a lot of mysteries left unsolved. It's still I feel like I owe it to the book for it helping me get back on the reading horse. It helped me fall in love again into like reading and developing my reading speed even in a physical book. So there, 5 stars. I'm still contemplating right now my favorite read of the month, because I have to choose just one, and it's a tie between the 2. And right now, I think I'd leave it blank for now, but yeah, I'll be thinking about it carefully, and I'll be putting the winner in my book bracket for my journal. But those are the 11 books I was able to read for January. Although it was a month with lower ranking, I'm still very happy that I was able to finish 11 books. It's an achievement, and yeah, super excited to see what the year has in store for me. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you also have a January wrap-up of your own, please share the link below, or tell me the titles that you have read. Which of these books sounds interesting to you? Also share that with me below as well. Thank you so much for watching. May always be in the mood for reading, and see you on the next video. Bye!